They wrote it down and said, if the Igbos can only unite, Nigeria would be better. So when I heard that, I asked a question, why is that so? And the man that was talking, an elderly man, said, because around the world, there's practically no country you go to that you'll not see an Igbo man. And they thrive in the area of commerce and investment, business, as in they thrive wherever they find themselves. Do you agree with this picture that this man's painted?
I don't want to sound immodest. This is asking one to be self-descriptive. But we all have our various endowments, and I believe that the Almighty God is extremely fair with all His creation. There is no part of this country that is not endowed with distinct characteristics. I went to school in Ibadan. The Yorubas, very cultural. They are extremely enterprising intellectually. The Northerners are very skillful. They are very artistic. Look at the caps they make. Look at the embroidery on their dresses. They are very detailed farmers. And they have inexhaustive patience. And a farmer plants in February and harvests in August. He's prepared to wait that length of time. They are very tactful politicians. They strategize in their politics. The Igbos are extremely enterprising. They can make something out of nothing. It is believed that an Igbo man cannot be lazy. Look, can you imagine at the end of the war, every Igbo man who had deposits in any commercial bank in Nigeria and had withdrawn or deposited money in there, had his deposits reduced to 20 pounds. At the end of the war, my father used to be minister and deputy premier minister in Nigeria. When we came back at the end of the war, I was supposed to be in university. My immediate senior, Okwesilieze, was supposed to be in university. My late sister, Cecilia, may her soul rest in peace, was supposed to be in university. My parents had just 20 pounds. How could you survive with 20 pounds? But my father was very lucky because when the war broke out, he approached the Maris brothers who came from England, who were running College of Immaculate Conception, where I went to, where my senior brother, Dr. Nwodo, went to. And he gave them his life savings, £10,000, and said, my first son is doing his A-levels in England, and I want him to read law. Please help him to pay his school fees with this money. But don't let him know it's my money, so he'll be frugal. Because of foreign exchange restrictions in transfer of money, the Reverend brothers were able to transfer only £4,000, but my father didn't know. So when we came back, my dad had £6,000. You can imagine what it is. So my dad bought a Mercedes 911 lorry because there was no food cultivation in the southeast because it was ravaged by war. All the food we ate came from the north and the west. But we had more proximity to the north. And so there were no vehicles to haul this food. So he bought a vehicle in the hope that the proceeds of the vehicle will revive his economy. And as I listened to him and my mother talk at dinner, they said, oh, the drivers were going to cheat us, and we just pray that we get a reliable driver. I volunteered to be a conductor. I went Lafia, Akwanga, Bokuru, Jos, Mubi, Maiduguri, in very bad roads, very muddy. And we used to balance £500 a week. And it didn't mean anything to me that I was a minister's son. I was a conductor. My brother in London heard of my successes in transportation, and he shipped from his savings a Volkswagen bus. I changed to the Volkswagen bus in order to set a revenue pattern. And I used to go from 9th Mile to Otukpo, and I used to shout in Igbo every morning, 9 Mile Otukpo, 10 shillings on your sister. or to go by air, come and drive home delivery bus. And I used to balance 15 pounds. In the bad days, 12 pounds, 10. That is the Igbo spirit of survival. It is born in you. You grow up in it. No chore is demeaning. You know, there are no status symbols that delimit your capacity for ingenuity, for industry, for ability to discover new dimensions about survival. That is basic characteristic of the Igbo. Now, I don't think that it stops them from being united. If anything, they are united. The superstructure of Nigeria, since the end of the Civil War, has limited the Igbo man's capacity for political growth.
Is it, when you say superstructure, is it so strong that it can't give room? I mean, a former president was quoted as saying, I stand to be corrected, was quoted as saying it is time for an Igbo president. Is it so strong that that statement
an Igbo president is not that of a former president to donate to anyone. With all due respect, he's my Baba and the man I respect and have close friendship with. But that's not the issue. I mean, look, we have 36 states here. The Igbos have only 5 states. And the last election has shown that you can become president of Nigeria without Igbo votes. And we have been shown by the demonstration effect of this existing administration that you can govern without Igbos. And the president himself has, or rather undiplomatically said, I will first give attention to those who voted for me. And for the ordinary Igbo man, it means exclusion. And under our constitution, what the president said is not tenable. You swear to an oath to be fair to all. And you become the father of all after the election. And your partisanship has to drop after the election. Now, we will come into this when we go into other issues that are
because I was just going to say, while you're talking about the president, what's your take on President Buhari's presidency right now?
First of all, I pray to God every day that President Buhari recovers from his ailments, the character of which we are yet to know. He's my friend. We were both presidential candidates in ANPP. And I respect him for his capacity to stay above board in public office and